Okay, so this will be my presentation on present value. So first we need to define it. Present value is known as the value today of funds that will be received in the future. Now this is an important concept which highlights the relationship between bond prices and interest rates. There are a few different variables that impact the present value of future money. So first we have the amount of money that we are getting paid in the future. And second we have the amount of time that it will take until we are paid back that money. And then third we have the interest rate at which the money is being borrowed at. Now, this second variable also helps to explain the term which economists use known as the time value of money, which shows how a payment changes depending on when it is received. Now we move on to bonds. Bonds are an IOU in which companies will borrow money from individual investors in order to finance their future plans of expansion. A bond will pay back a fixed sum, which can also be referred to as a face value amount, at a particular point in time. Some bonds issue coupon payments that pay back a certain amount of money on a scheduled basis in addition to this fixed sum. Individual investors typically feel comfortable purchasing bonds and bypassing the bank and lending directly to the company because of a good reputation. So, let's try and figure out why is money worth more now than it is in the future. And let's look at an example to try and prove this. So, you loan out $10,000 to a friend. When you loan this out, you need to look at three different things. First, by the time that he pays you back, prices will have risen due to inflation. So the money that you get back will have less purchasing power overall, and you will not be able to buy as many goods or services with that money as you would have been able to right now. Second, during this time you don't have that $10,000, so you can't spend it any way that you want to. You can't invest that money, you can't have it earn interest for you, you can't use it as an emergency fund, and you can't buy any goods or services with it in that time. It's just out of your hands. Third, there is also a chance that your friend will just not pay you back at all. And this brings us to the importance of interest rates. So because of this, you are going to charge your friend interest on this loan in order to 1. Compensate for inflation, 2. Compensate for the opportunity cost of having to wait to spend your money, and 3. Compensate for the risk of defaulting on your loan, which means your friend would just not pay you back at all. So here we have a few different formulas which we can use to calculate present value, future value, interest rates, and also calculating the price for coupon bonds. Now, on the side here, we can see that we have n equaling the number of years that it will take until your value is found or your bond is paid back. Then we have I, which equals the interest rate. So for present value, we have present value equals future value divided by 1 plus I to the power of n. Future value is equal to present value multiplied by 1 plus I to the power of n, which we can get from rearranging the first equation. And the same goes for interest rate, which we can rearrange and then find that the interest rate is equal to the future value divided by present value to the power of 1 divided by n, all minus 1. Now for calculating the price of coupon bonds, it's a little more complicated. So what you need to do is you need to look at the number of years which you are trying to calculate. So let's say for this example we have 3 years. We will do the price is equal to the coupon price divided by 1 plus I, and then we will repeat that 3 total times because our value is 3 years, and then we will simply sub in the 3 for the face value of 1, or the face value divided by 1 plus I, all to the power of n, which in this case would be 3. But we'll see that in a later question. So we have some questions. Let's assume that the interest rate is 8%. Would you rather receive $1,500 2 years from now, $1,700 3 years from now, or $1,850 4 years from now? So, in order to do this, we need to pull up the present value equation. And we can see by plugging in the numbers here, so we have 1,500, which is the future value. Then we have 1 plus 0.08, which is the interest, all to the power of 2, because it's 2 years from now. And we'll just do the same thing for B and C as well. We'll plug them all in and get some numbers. We can see that the present value for A is 1286.01. Present value for B is 1349.51. The present value for C is 1359.81. So that means that the correct answer is C. After we calculate the present value of all of these three choices, we can see that the answer is C because it has the highest present value. So it makes the most sense to choose answer C because it's offering you the most money. So, we have a treasury bond was issued 21 years ago and it will mature in 4 years. This bond pays a coupon of $95 every year. When the bond matures, it will pay out $5,000. Now, if the interest rate is 5%, what is the bond's price? So we need to pull up that coupon bond price equation. So from this, we need to look at the number of years, and we can see that it will mature in 4 years. So that's very important for this question. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this part of the equation until we have it 4 times. So we have the coupon price, which is 95. We have the interest rate, which is 5%. So we do 1 plus I, which is 1 plus 0.05, and it totals to be 1.05, and we will repeat that 4 times because we need to get to the value of 4 years. Then, after that, we've done that, we will just add the face value, which is $5,000, and then we will substitute in the interest rate and the number of years again. And then we'll see that the price of the bond turns out to be $4,450.38. And then for my works cited, all the definitions that I found were from our textbook, Macroeconomics, Hubbard O'Brien Rafferty, and Kaninsky Canadian edition.